So this is a brief tutorial on how to change out the compact flash assembly in the Canon 5D, specifically the Mark I. I've got some slides here at the beginning in case some individuals aren't able to hear the commentary, basically telling some of the background. For those individuals who want to skip past that, just jump right into the video. Okay, I'm actually going to start with placing the LCD screen cover on the Mark I. I've already previously removed the cracked screen, and there's plenty of YouTube videos that show you how to do this. The part runs about $10 to $14 on eBay. There's various other places online that you can get it to. So this is it. This is how it comes from the manufacturer. This is OEM. This is actually from Canon. And my particular model, if you get them from Canon, they have the adhesive already attached to the back, and it doesn't come separate. So you won't actually have to do some of the things that YouTube videos show about having to put the adhesive in first. You'll just have to remove the center adhesive, which is what I'm doing here, and then remove the outer adhesive and just pop it into place. Make sure you line it up good and everything's cleaned out. Just press it good and firm around the edges. If you get it from Canon, it actually has a protective screen, some plastic over the top of it. If you're going to do anything else inside the camera like we are here, I don't recommend taking that off just yet. Okay, let's get down to the main show. You're going to need two tools. It's going to be a 000 Phillips screwdriver. Find one with a very small shank, and at least a 00 on your normal. There's one screw where you'll need the small shanked 000 or quadruple zero on the inside. And what I do is actually draw a diagram, put some tape down, and then it allows me to stick all the screws exactly where I pull them. Now I have actually previously pulled this out and repaired the one that was in it, but I didn't feel the repair was going to hold, so I ordered a new one from Canon. So we start the process by removing the screws next to the viewfinder. There's one underneath the grip on the side here. I've already removed that one, so it's silver. It's very easy to see. Then there are two small, very small screws on the bottom along the edge. So the final screw is actually underneath the other half of the grip, just in the corner. You can completely remove it, or you can just peel up a corner of it. It's right underneath the two buttons in the upper right hand corner. It's also silver, and again, I've already removed it. Now open up the compact flash door and start prying. I usually try to start at the top because of the way the viewfinder is designed and the flat cables that are on the inside. Lift it up in a diagonal, and you'll see the two connections that hold for the LCD and for the command wheel. And you'll actually see that I have broken this one when I previously fixed the camera. It's not a big deal, I'll show you later on in the film. This is the PCB that you need to remove, and all of these connectors have to be undone and the ribbon cables removed. There are 3 screws. You can take the screws out first if you want to, that's how I do it, or you can unhook the ribbon cables. Either or, it's pretty much the same. And I forgot to take the battery out, so I removed it to make sure that I don't fry anything while I'm in here with the screwdriver. And you'll also see in a minute that I forgot to take the compact flash card out as well. They're very, very small screws. Now the way these are designed is that basically there's a small brown flap, and that brown flap just folds up, and then of course in the reverse it'll lock down once you put the ribbon cable back in. Just basically you can put a little something on it. You don't want to bend these too much because ribbon cable is notorious for breaking, and they are not cheap to replace. Underneath this particular cable there's also a 90-degree folded ribbon cable that has to come undone as well. And under this large one that's next, there's another one, and the easiest way that I found to do it is to unbuckle the lock and then proceed to either remove the screws if you haven't done that already, and then slide the PCB out, or in this case the screws are gone, so you're just going to pull the PCB out and the ribbon cable will dislodge as you pull it out, as you can see here. Now directly under that is the compact flash assembly, and I'm going to show you a picture of it so that you will see, and also show you the 3 screws that you need to remove to facilitate removing the entire assembly. I know I said 3 screws, but as I said, I have previously taken this out and repaired it, and basically just replacing it with a non-repaired unit. This ribbon cable, the one closest to the viewfinder, is actually the connector for the CF assembly. You'll need to remove it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to slightly push it forward, and it'll come out of the slot that you would normally put the compact flash card in. And then you're going to tip it up from the back. Just kind of give the ribbon cable a little tug. Now around the ribbon cable, well, actually let me show you the repair. That middle pin had actually broken and had shoved out through the back. So I pushed it back in and did some micro soldering under a microscope, and seemed to be fine. Now there's a small metal piece on this ribbon cable. To be honest, I'm not really sure what it does, but if it's there for a reason. And so remove it from your damaged unit and install it on the replacement unit. Try and use the same tape too. Most of the tapes that are used inside here are non-conductive and they don't generate static electricity, which is always a good thing. So here's my replacement unit. This also is Canon. I bought it on eBay. It cost me $36.99 plus shipping, so it was just a touch over $40. The metal piece goes on, and slap this anti-static tape back on it, and we are ready to pop it back in. And basically you put it back in exactly the way that you took it out, kind of at an angle. You're going to push it all the way through to give clearance for the rear of the assembly to seat back into place. And make sure all your ribbon cables are out of the way. Some people might choose to completely remove the ribbon cables if they can. There's probably 2 of them that you could probably remove entirely. The other 2 are buried so deep that it'd be pretty difficult to do that. So now we're back in, and we're going to put in the screws, and again, they are so small. If you're a guy, I highly recommend growing some fingernails before you do this, just for the fact that you've got all of these small lock mechanisms for the ribbon cables, and you have extremely tiny screws to deal with. Now 2 of these screws, the ones that go on where I'm putting one in now, and on the opposite side, are small, and the larger one actually holds the ribbon cable to the magnesium chassis. So pop the ribbon cable back in, and technically speaking, at this point your fix is done. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's all reassembly from here. This is where I actually make a mistake. I had previously removed one, and this is where you need the really thin screwdriver. It's at a complete angle. I guess they do this to maybe prevent people from doing this on their own. As long as you have a very thin shank quadruple zero screwdriver, preferably with just a touch of magnetism, it is possible to do it. The trick is to hang it on the side and to get it directly into the hole, and then as soon as it is, to tighten it down from an angle. Don't over torque it, because you will screw the screw up, and once that's you're done. Once that happens, you're done. It doesn't necessarily need it as long as you're careful when you put the compact flash card in. There's enough tension on the other 2 screws to hold it into place. But I don't think I would want to be taking compact flash cards in and out all day long. Chances are, though, if you're running a Mark I 5D, you're not really doing that. So if you are, make sure that the screw goes in place. You could use some forceps, or you could use some other like surgical based instruments, and those will typically help you get that in that tiny hole, to be able to get it in. And as you can see here, I finally have some success. So now we're going to put the PCB in. Something that I didn't show is that it only goes in one way. One corner actually has a cutout that fits directly into the chassis, and then there's screws at the other 3 corners. Also here, I just wanted to pop in here that while you can't see it, I actually have an anti-static cable attached to my ankle, running to the ground in the nearby socket on the wall. Anymore, you could just probably touch a metal door or something else that's grounded before you start working. But I generally just try to do that to make sure that I don't discharge into the camera or whatever electronics I'm working on. It's a good thing to remember. So now you're going to put back all of the ribbon strips. This long one generally is the most difficult out of all of them, basically because it's such a long strip and you have to get it into that. Basically it's like a 1/32 of an inch slot that it has to go into, and it can be a little difficult, and you want to be careful not to damage the ends. And success, and this particular one actually locks in the opposite direction than the rest. So let's put on the back. It doesn't matter which ribbon you start with. I usually start with the LCD because the control wheel is the one that I broke the first time that I fixed it. I'm actually going to show you a picture. It's not anything to worry about. It will still lock down. You can just put a little strip of tape, preferably like electrical tape or something that doesn't do static electricity, to cover it up and lock everything down. Now I'm actually going to test this before I put the final screws in. I fixed the previous pin assembly, so I know that it worked previously, so I'm going to give it a quick test just to make sure that the new assembly works like it should. As you can see, it fires up. LCD shows up, which shows there's not even bent pins. And if you look at the counter, it is actually going down, so you can actually see that it's saving to the compact flash card. And then I'll do a check on reading it back out. And now I'm going to put the screws back in. Putting back together is a snap.
Hello, can I say that there's something wrong with this place? I got time just to waste. If you would be my new escape, so then I say can't find a lie, but well there's no other way of pulling me under, 'cause it's gotta be fate. If we're under the covers, it's all gonna be a-okay, a-okay. I don't wanna do it alone. I'm begging you, I don't wanna do this all alone. We can dance in your bedroom with no romance. I got time just to waste. If you would be my new escape, so then you say won't be another, but you give it away 'cause you wanna discover that it's gotta be fate. If we're under the covers, it's all gonna be a-okay, a-okay. I don't wanna do it alone. I'm begging you,
And we're almost finished with the repair, putting in the final screws. Final commentary is that this is actually a very easy process. Whole entire thing took me 22 minutes, and that's including putting on the LCD. That was the raw video that I edited down to this. which I didn't cut out a whole lot. Now that everything's in, I'm going to retest the camera, and I'm going to take off that protective screen, and I'll put a hard covered protective screen over that later. So now I'm going to give it a test. As you can see, the back LCD come on. If it wasn't working, that would not come on. I'm going to pop the lens on. It's my 40mm Pancake STM. Awesome lens. I highly recommend it. Snap a quick shot to show that writing to the card works as it should. Got manual on. Switch it back over to aperture priority. And you see I've successfully written to the card, so it's working properly. And to show that I can read from the card, I'm going to cycle through some images that I took earlier in the day. And that's that. Now, like I said in the beginning, this may not necessarily work for every camera, but it does work for the 5D, and it's a quick fix, saves $240, and it's pretty easy to do, and I hope I have helped you able to save some money. So thanks for watching.